Ladies and gentlemen, you are more than welcome to this, another episode of the Coffee at 11 show brought to you by Wigwam Global. Delighted that you've chosen to join us. Thank you for being here. And in particular, I'd like to welcome our very special guest this morning, Gillian O'Gorman. Gillian, pop in, say hello, show us your coffee mug and say cheers.
Hi everyone, delighted to be here. Cheers.
Tell us about secondary school. How was all that for you?
It was very uncomfortable, Colm. You know, I mean, I mentioned there at the beginning about my height. What we all want to do when we're younger is fit in. When you're always so tall, it's impossible to fit in. Also, I had a mother who was 5'1", so she had no understanding, no understanding of what I was going through. So I would always just be feeling so out of place, uncomfortable in my own skin. And she didn't get it. That wasn't her fault because she hadn't experienced that. I mean, she was quite tiny. So school for me, even though I had friendships, it was very difficult because I felt so uncomfortable. So I felt very, you know, the language I used at the time, ugly, you know, so I never felt relaxed in myself. I always was lucky to have that close-knit group of friends where I felt safe. But I was always very shy, very retiring. And then that was being misconstrued for being a standoffish, you know, standoffish. So I always had that label. People would say you're standoffish. So then you're feeling even worse inside. So looking back, I got through it all because that's what you do. You respond to these situations or you react to these situations. But I look back with great compassion and I feel really, really sorry for that young girl who really, really inside was struggling a lot because you can't do anything about your height and there was nothing wrong with my height. I'm very grateful for it now. Always very independent in my thinking. Actually, there's a funny story about the independence. I remember, well, my mother would have told me this. I had a bank account in Bank of Ireland when I was quite young. And where my parents' house is, there was a Bank of Ireland across the road. And at 5 years of age, because my mother wouldn't give me any money, I actually stood up on the stool, got my bank book out, went across the, true story, went across the road to the bank. They knew me, so they thought it was so funny. So they gave me £1. And then I went to the shop beside the bank and I bought sweets. So my mother kind of came across me and she said, where did you, what's after happening here? So I told her. So there was that kind of determination from a young age. I did something similar with the Santa list. I put my Santa list into the bank post box. My mother was frantic because she didn't see the list. So she had to go over, they had to empty the letter box, all without me knowing. So again, that independence and determination. And see, secretly, she loved that independence. She loved that. So as much she would be given out to me, she loved it. She was like, that's fantastic. I like that. So she did definitely encourage her three daughters in particular to be three independent ladies, you know. So wonderful. I do thank my mother for that.
Two quick questions and we'll get to Princess Shelley if that's okay. Number one is, what are you taking with you from COVID that you're not letting go of?
Well, actually accepting that I'm an introvert. I didn't realize that, you know. I think I tried to be an extrovert for, you know, 42, 43 years and put myself into social situations that I really wasn't comfortable with because I would be thought, oh, that's odd. You have to go out. You have to do this. So I actually enjoy my own company. I enjoy, you know, quieter times. And also I got an opportunity when you take away all the distractions, you know, a lot of stuff comes up. And I got an opportunity to really heal by being more compassionate and using the term of self-soothing. So I've actually understood myself a lot more. I actually got to know myself a lot more. And, you know, when this passes, as it will do, I will be back in the world as a much more grounded, self-aware, happier person.
Perfect. Yes. Thank you, Seamus. Absolutely perfect. You've put the time to good use. Well done.
I have. Yeah.
And then what one thing would you recommend somebody do if they could only do one thing to get themselves through it? What would you suggest that one thing is?
To talk to yourself like yourself like you would your best friend. So to actually learn a supporting dialogue. When I say that to people, the longest relationship we have is the relationship we have with ourselves. People are like, what? because I was when I heard that first of all, and then say, well, what would you say to your sister? What would you say to your best friend if they actually gave you that situation or scenario then? And then do that for yourself because it works. And that's the self-soothing piece. So, and another thing is, don't always believe all your thoughts. Just because you have a thought doesn't mean it's true, so be aware of your thoughts, so it doesn't mean it's true.